All right, good morning, guys. So I got Mirko and I got Chris behind me. So today what day is it today? Today is the 19th. So May 19th, 1 week out from Sulphur Springs, 100-kilometer race, or 18th, whatever. It's a week out from the race. So I thought I'd do a little small video, maybe longer video, talking about my taper and then also my game plan for a race day. So number one with my taper, that is, I won't say new to me, but something I'm trying to take more serious is not doing more than what is on the schedule just because I feel good. And that the actual volume intensity is going to be turned down. So for example, this weekend, Saturday, I have an hour-and-a-half run and that's it. Done for the day. No strength training, no pool.
Cold plunge.
Yeah, I'll leave that one for Aaron. But it's just sticking to the plan and then recovering, like not doing more than is prescribed. So that's step one of the taper, is sticking to the program, because that's what's going to allow you to be 100% on race day and ready to rock and roll. Second is going to be hydration and fuel. Well, hydration and nutrition throughout the week. So I'm going to have to start carb loading probably about 3 days out from the race, because it is going to be 100 kilometers. I'm gonna have to start to really build my glycogen stores a few days before. And so, I'm looking at doing about, 300 to 600 grams of carbs, which is a lot. I'm just gonna slow down. And with that is going to be a lot of potatoes, a lot of pasta, a lot of rice, and I want to do it clean this time. The other times that I've done carb loading, I had just a lot of sugar, and those carbs there, yes, they will store in my system, but they easily burn. So I want to do a more slow burning carb, and like I said, more I don't know, how would you say it, Chris? Like Whole foods, yeah.
Nutritious foods. Not smash a large pizza every night.
That's a whole food. It's a whole belly.
I guess, yeah.
But yes, pizza will be a part of that carb load.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so staying on top of the hydration too. I looked at the weather schedule. It's going to be hot, 20 degrees. It's probably going to be humid. So my body's going to be doing a lot to try to cool itself. So I'm gonna have to really stay on top of my electrolytes. So I'll be using Element, LMNT, not sponsored, but that will be a staple in my hydration for the week and on race day. And what else? What do you think I'm missing, Chris? For nutrition and
sleep.
Oh yes.
Getting good quality sleep every night, all week long this week.
Yeah.
Crucial.
Huge. So that's something that I'm already very strict with and becoming more in tune with, is the sleep. So that one there probably is number one, because you can't do everything else if your sleep is crap. Getting poor sleep, you're gonna eat like crap. Your mood's gonna be crap. So your training, quality of your workouts go down. Like there's such a big repercussion with not taking or not building a good sleep hygiene.
Yeah, and for you, it's just don't change anything, right? You already have a good hygiene, you already have good habits. Don't change that, which might be hard because race week, you're thinking about fueling, you're thinking about, shit, this is a long way, I've never done a 100K race before. That can impact your sleep, but sticking with that consistent routine that you already have established is gonna make a world of difference.
But they say nothing new on race day, but I mean, if you could get an extra hour of sleep, I can see that being a huge positive and long-term return on the actual race day itself. Last night, for example, I got 8 hours of sleep, and I'm gonna try to keep that ball rolling. And then, even taking naps, I have found has been beneficial for performance. It doesn't really help close your sleep gap, but it does help if you have like a workout or you know, other mental tasks ahead of you. So taking,
it can't be a replacement for your nighttime sleep, but it can be a complement to your nighttime sleep.
yeah, huge compliment. Okay, so fourth thing is stress and time management, and sticking to, I mean, depending on like your work schedule and stuff like that, like you can't train at the same time as when the race is going to start, but staying on top of your time management with your training, I think, is important, and making that consistent as well throughout the week. I don't really have much to add to that one. Maybe just like not planning a bunch of different events on your taper week, and just sticking to that same training routine throughout the week, that allows you to do your workout and then just chill and rest. Don't go out and party. Don't start a new hobby or things that are going to take your mind off of the main goal of your race, and just come up with a strategic plan around, you know, time of your food when you have your food. So that's important, is your eating routine. Like, you don't want to be smashing food at like 7-8 o'clock at night. You know, finish that last meal at 5 or 6 o'clock. Make sure it's able to digest, right? You're able to go to the washroom right in the morning before your race.
Unless that's what you're used to. If normally work prohibits you from eating at 5 or 6 and you always eat at 7 or 8, keep that consistent.
Yeah, that's a great point, actually. Yeah, so keep on your regular eat time schedule, and it'll just make it a little bit easier for you on race morning. Yeah, that's a good one. And I don't know, anything else today? No, I think that's kind of nailed it.
And enjoy the chill time.
Yeah.
So normally we do so much volume, so much training, it takes away from the other things. Spend more time with King, spend more time with Aaron. Like, just be okay with that and enjoy that.
Yeah, because you gotta think about it. It's a time to let your body replenish and decrease stress from the training. So
and that social can help with that.
Yeah, big time. You don't want to add more stress throughout the week. You want to save that day to be on the race day to accumulate that stress back up. All right, so let's talk a bit about my strategy for race day, because I'm doing the 100 kilometer race. Chris is going to be doing one of the laps of the 100-mile relay. 20K. So for me, I am, there's a lot of things. So I'm going to be starting right off the bat nice and slow. As soon as the gun goes, nice and slow. So I'm setting an alarm on my watch to signal my pace. And I know that's gonna change depending on the terrain. So mentally, I wanna do anywhere between a 7 to a 7:30 pace. But if things are going well per lap, the alarm that I have set on my watch is going to be 6:30. So I don't wanna go under that pace. So I actually wanna stay on that or above that pace.
Even your fast bits, 6:30.
That's right. So even on the fast bits, 6:30. Downhill, I mean, sometimes it's hard to really stay at a good, consistent pace on the downhill. So I mean, I might get a little ding or two there, but really just making sure that I'm not burning any matches right off the bat, because obviously with a taper, you're gonna feel really good on race day, right? And you gotta remember, it's a longevity game. It's an ultra marathon, not a sprint. So I'm going to really focus on staying in tune with my watch. Second is my nutrition timing. So every 30 minutes, taking a gel, sipping on water, and eating lots of food. So food-wise, I'm bringing potatoes, maple syrup. I'm gonna have some pierogies. I'm gonna have some sushi rice balls.
What else is good? Gnocchi.
Gnocchi. Oh yeah, gnocchi.
Salted gnocchi.
Ooh, it's soft too.
Dense and soft.
Yeah.
Easy to digest.
Once again, don't do nothing doing race day. So I haven't tested that one out yet. But I mean, it's just a potato. That's a potato. Yeah. So that's okay. Say a pierogies. It's a potato. And I have found that I've been actually enjoying more of the salty stuff and slower burning carbs than the sugar stuff. My mouth just goes raw at a point, and it gets rough.
Too much of it, yeah.
Too much of maple syrup. So it'll be a good like pick me up. And then I'm gonna do caffeine for the last 6 hours of the race. Why 6 hours? I'm assuming that's gonna be my halfway mark. So
Well, you're gonna start the day with coffee too, right? You're gonna have caffeine at the beginning.
yeah,
Just not until 6 hours into the run.
that's right. Yeah, so I'll start the day with coffee, and then maybe though, we'll see. Just so that when it hits me at the 6 hours, it might actually like really kick in.
Yeah, that's part of your regular morning though, right?
True.
I wouldn't change that.
Okay, yeah, good point. So Chris said,
Maybe don't have as much, like don't have 3 cups, have a cup.
yeah, I'll have a cup. And then Element and Gatorade are going to be my main source of fuel and electrolytes throughout the day. So 2 bottles per 20-kilometer lap. And in each bottle is going to have 6 scoops, 5 to 6 scoops of Gatorade and a half pack of Element. So each bottle will have roughly 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes. And then carb-wise, I'm not 100% sure. So I'll get back to you on that one.
2 scoops, I think it's like 40 grams of carbs. If you're using like the powdered Gatorade.
Okay. Yeah, so 2 tablespoon scoops is about 40 grams. So it will be just shy, or maybe just over if I'm doing that.
Yeah.
40, 80, 120, maybe 120 grams of carbs. Because I'm a bigger dude and I sweat and I'm sitting at about 190 pounds right now, I need more calories and more carbs. I'm just gonna burn them more, especially with my muscle. I'm more muscular, so I get burned when I'm sitting. And what else for race day? Have fun. Don't get latched onto other people going super fast, because that's gonna be a hard one. Because there's the 100K, the 100 miler, 50K, 50 miler, all happening at the same time. It's easy to want to have comparison on the course, meaning like, oh, you see somebody moving fast, you're naturally gonna be like, I also want to move at their speed. You gotta stick to your game plan, your speed that you have in mind, because once you go outside of your plans, you're setting yourself up for a recipe for disaster, and that could be bonking, that could be an injury, and you got to do what you've been training for the past couple months or weeks or whatever leading up to your race. So that's a big one, because it's easy to latch on to the energy of other people and you're gonna get excited. Your adrenaline's gonna be high, and like I said, you really need to kind of be dialed in and focused. If that means wearing headphones to block out the noise, listening to a podcast, music, whatever it may be, figure out what that is to keep you locked in. Wearing a hat or sunglasses, right, as like blinders to kind of like decrease all the fun around you. But biggest thing, just focus on your plan that you have for race day. And then what else? Gear wise, I'm gonna be wearing my vest, I'm gonna be wearing my tight shorts, and I'm going to be running. So I've come to limits. I'm actually gonna be running in my Saucony Endorphin Edge, because I have learned from training runs that I've done in the Saucony Ultra or Exodus Ultra 2s that they kind of like burn me out even on an easy run day.
Those are not carbon plated.
And they're not carbon plated. Yeah, the Saucony Edges are carbon plated. And I did my 50K in them 2-3 weeks ago, and I crossed that finish line being like, I could do more. So those are the shoes I'm gonna be
shock absorption.
running
It's
in.
less wear and tear on the legs and the joints.
Yeah.
That carbon plate helps with that.
Yeah, the carbon plate is
Makes you
huge.
faster, but it also helps you run longer.
Yeah, so I'm a believer. And so I feel that those will be the winning shoes for me for race day. And if everything goes well, I may use them for the 100 miler as well. I mean, I'd almost be stupid not to at this point if I go to use them for 100 kilometers. So food for thought, really become in tune with the shoes that you train with and see what gives you the best return. And I'm not saying that the Exodus Ultras are a bad shoe. I could have just had a rough sleep that day. I could have just maybe ran a little bit harder than I normally do. And that's just how my legs felt. So I don't know. we will see what happens after this 100 kilometer. But that's kind of my mental strategy as of right now. Things are obviously subject to change. And my overall finish time that I have in mind is 12 hours and 30 minutes. So that's running, I think at a 7 to 7:30 pace. So fingers crossed.
For 12 and a half hours.
For 12 and a half hours. So fingers crossed. So I'm hoping that will be the return.